I've always had a distaste for mediocrity. My mantra for flowing and operating in excellence is good is all right, but if better is out there, then good is not enough, right? So I'm always pressing that envelope. I'm really hard on myself in terms of producing a level of excellence because in my mind, if it's not first rate, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I know that everything is done in stages, but me, from a holistic perspective, I want the best. And my best may not be your best, but I want the best that I'm able to afford, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And so I've always had a creative eye. I've always been in a stage and a place where I'm able to see something that's small and how we can maximize it, right? So being able to just not have all of the bells and whistles has really been worked to my advantage because it enables me to be more creative. I tell people that's connected to me that we all have to have poor moments, right? Mm-hmm. So there are times when I'll just go get bologna, even though I don't eat bologna. There are times where I'll get bologna and cook it so that it can be burnt around the edges.
I love it.
So that I can be reminded of where I came from and reminded of the things that I did to help me along that process. And sometimes we have to have poor moments. And for me, when I don't have a lot, it forces me to be as creative as I possibly can be, because in my mind, simplicity breeds prosperity.
Welcome to another episode of the Brothers Who Talk with Terry and AD. This podcast is about men talking about everyday shenanigans, the stuff that makes us mad, to the topics that concern why in the world do these guys have a podcast. Let's get to it.
What up, y'all? This is AD Walker, and as you can see, I'm rocking this thing alone today because my brother Terry is taking some time off, but we will definitely be rocking this thing next week. So today is our best of show, and what you're gonna get is a montage of some of our best interviews, and tell them why you're mad, as well as a segment about protecting our black women. So we have Felix Anderson, author, speaker, all around great dude, E. Digger, CEO of Charm City Direct TV, Tony Sanders, comedian, writer, storyteller, masterful storyteller, and Ruben Arana, the prophetic painter. So I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let me know what you think. Let us know how you feel about the show and the direction that we're going, and anything that you want to see or don't want to see. All right, so sit back, relax, enjoy the show, enjoy this podcast. It's going to be amazing. You won't regret it. You're not going to miss out. You don't want to miss this. This is going to bless your life. So, all right, before we get into that, hold on, there's just a quick thing I want to show you guys. Bam! You're live. It's live? Like recorded live? All right.
You're recording me. We're live out here.
We're live out here in the streets.
Yeah.
So listen, I appreciate you guys watching us and listening and following us. The Brothers Who Talk. I'm AD. This is Terry. So we're on a race to 100 subscribers. 100 subscribers. And I definitely want you to be a part of that. And as a gift, once we reach 100 subscription, we will be giving away an Amazon gift card. So get in on this and be a part of our 100 subscribers. We love you guys. We appreciate all the support. We are growing rapidly, and we want you to be in on this. So as a congratulations and a thank you for following us, and sharing in our journey, we're going to be giving away a gift card, as well as make sure you have any of your podcast apps. Make sure you listen to the Brothers Who Talk. Support, rate, comment. Let us know what you think. Even if you don't like us, let us know. If you're watching this YouTube, give us a thumbs down. It's all good. I don't mind.
I want a sign language so bad. But I don't know how to sign, and I don't want to be defensive to anybody. So we're not gonna do that. But like you said.
Right.
Like he said,
yes.
Race to 100.
Yes.
Amazon gift card.
Yes.
The raffles. Don't miss out. I'm telling you, don't miss out.
Don't miss out. All right. That's it. That's all. Peace out.
Me, I've always had a distaste for mediocrity. My mantra for flowing and operating in excellence is good is all right, but if better is out there, then good is not enough, right? So I'm always pressing that envelope. I'm really hard on myself in terms of producing a level of excellence, because in my mind, if it's not first rate, I don't want to have anything to do with it. And I know that everything is done in stages, but me, from a holistic perspective, I want the best. And the best, my best may not be your best, but I want the best that I'm able to afford, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And so I've always had a creative eye. I've always been in a stage and a place where I'm able to see something that's small and how we can maximize it, right? So being able to just not have all of the bells and whistles has really been worked to my advantage, because it enables me to be more creative. I tell people that's connected to me that we all have to have poor moments, right? Mm-hmm. So there are times when I'll just go get bologna, even though I don't eat bologna. There are times where I'll get bologna and cook it so that it can be burnt around the edges.
I love it.
So that I can be reminded of where I came from, mm-hmm. and reminded of the things that I did to help me along that process. And sometimes we have to have poor moments. And for me, when I don't have a lot, it forces me to be as creative as I possibly can be, because in my mind, simplicity breeds prosperity. And so that's what allowed me to be where I am. The whole progression thing, as Terry talked about earlier, going from the caps and sitting in the car and just, going 90 to nothing, doing the broadcast. That's all I knew at the time. Mm-hmm. And then when I began to start getting exposed to better, and I began to start seeing people broadcast on a higher level, I realized that I knew I had to come up. And it wasn't that I had to come up to their level, but I had to come up past the one that I was on.
That's right.
Because we're all working with different budgets. If I give you all $100,000, then there are certain things that you all can do with this particular platform that will change the dynamic, but it doesn't minimize the message and the power of the words that are coming out of your mouth and what you brothers are doing. Because again, right now, everybody's on the same playing field.
Right.
Everybody that had mega churches, everybody now got 10 members, because you can only have 10 people inside your congregation. Right. Yeah. Everybody that had these major platforms, they're all on the same level playing, right? And so what I firmly believe, and the thing that really keeps me pushing, is that there's somebody assigned to my voice and there's somebody assigned to my words. Mm-hmm. That's why I post certain words on certain platforms. You don't see me broadcasting a lot on one platform. Mm-hmm. You'll hear my voice on one. You'll see my face and my words on another one, but you'll just strictly see my words on one platform. So I realized that everybody's not for me. And when I realized that helped push me to my purpose. I hope that answered your question.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, that did.
Yeah. I can't stand mediocrity though.
I see.
I can't stand mediocrity.
So even before you got, how long have you been saved? How long did you accept Christ in your life? How long have you been?
Oh wow, man! I've been doing ministry for 20 plus years.
Okay.
And strangely enough, I know we alluded to it earlier on how hip hop really raised me. Right.
Wow.
I learned about meditation through Snoop. He says, I got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. That to me, that was meditation. That helped me to stay focused. I was like, okay, that was my thing that says, okay, stay focused.
Right.
So it was actually hip hop that really led me to God, man. I was listening to a dude named Flame. I was walking through Walmart. Wow. I was high as a kite. Strictly. I mean, I was high. Yeah. I was walking through Walmart, and I just turned my life over to God, but I still had weed on my breath. Right. And so, my roommate at the time, I was giving my life to God. We had a townhouse. I was upstairs and he was smoking, man. I mean, the whole apartment was just like smelled with nothing but weed. I'm still trying to get my life right. But we have to all go through that progressive state. Right. And so, I'm being transparent with many of the viewers, because many people see us where we are right now, but they don't see the transformation. And they don't see the process of what we went through. Right. And so I was walking through Walmart, and I picked up an album. It was by a guy named Flame. And what attracted me to the album really wasn't necessarily the album cover. It's just that the album cover looked like it had a blunt on it. To be honest with you, it was a green album. I can't remember the name of it, but his very first album, if you go back and look at Flame's very first album, it had a green cover on it. Right. And so that's when I realized I developed a mantra that there has to be a level of attraction before there can become a level of attachment. I was attracted to the cover before I became attached to his words, right?
Right.
And he said this, to answer your question, he said this: just like your rims still spin even after your car stops, then where will you spend eternity after your heart stops, huh?
I remember that line.
News flash, homie.
I remember.
Right? And so I heard that, and it was a total shift for me.
Yeah. Flame was, he was with Cross Movement at the time, I think. It was Flame, Lecrae, Flame, Lecrae, and The Truth are the three.
The Truth, right. So that's who I grew up on.
Yeah.
Them and the Gospel Gangsters, and then I realized, like, I can't listen to y'all not on my speed. I'm listening to,
came up a little bit.
Yeah.
But here is one of the questions I've always wanted to ask you, and this is, and me and you we go back 4 years at least now.
Right.
And so when did you realize you had the gift you have? Because everybody can't utter what you utter, and utter it with such confidence, and utter it with such oomph in your throat. Like, when did you know? When did you come to that fruition that I have a gift? God is calling me to do this.
To be honest with you, I didn't know it. My grandmother was the one who helped me to recognize it. I remember being in the 7th grade, and someone, I think it was my social studies teacher, they were doing a play, and they were doing a Black History program. And I was walking by, and I didn't even realize I had this gift, but I was walking by, and I was messing with one of my classmates, and they were doing the I Have a Dream speech, right? I was like, you ain't doing it right. You're not doing it right. You're not doing it right. And so I'm just like, I say to you today, my friends, that even though we face the difficulties of the day and tomorrow, I still have a dream. Oh, wow. And I remember not knowing that gift was on the inside of me, because my mom would always mimic people. But my grandmother began to start buying me Dr. King messages. And when I began to start listening to his voice, it was something about being audible that shifted everything for me. I'm an introvert extrovert. To me, I write better than I speak. And so I write everything down. And so when the words come out of my mouth, I have no other choice but to rely on the God on the inside of me. So when people hear me, they don't hear me, they hear God, because Felix is really just chilled and low key.
Right. Wow.
Not that I'm being two different people, but I'm an introvert extrovert, if that makes sense.
Do you find that storytelling is the most effective way to get your message across?
I think it's the only way. I think storytelling is the human language. And I think as we go forward, people will start to understand that more and more. There's a reason why a movie can work in the United States and then overseas in different countries, and even in some countries that don't even speak English, they can still enjoy that movie, or they can still enjoy a stand-up special, right? When you see Kevin Hart or Chris Rock go over there, they're not speaking different languages, but they're doing sets in front of crowds that aren't even 100% English-speaking crowds, but they still get it, and that's because we're connected through stories. Every story has the same structure. The stories have the same action points and inflection points that make a great story a great story. And, there's really only a couple of different types of stories that you can tell, but that connects everyone. It's the best teaching tool. If you look at all of our ancient books, they're written in story format because it's the communication of the people. It's the way we learn.
So how long have you been doing stand-up?
I started doing stand-up about 3 years ago. So in 2017, I try to do something every year for my birthday that scares me a little bit and, continues to push me outside of my comfort zone. And I'd always had a love for comedy and for stand-up, but I didn't know if I could do it. It's one of those things I think I understand how this works. Right. I think I understand why people are laughing when they're laughing, but let me see if I can go up there and, put into work what I think I've learned over the years of just consuming content from a stand-up perspective. Right. And so I knew that if I went up there, I could at least capture people's attention long enough for them to not boo me off stage, right? If you give me 5 minutes, I could at least capture your attention until you could say okay, he's interesting. He ain't funny. He ain't funny, but he's interesting at least. Like I didn't mind listening to him.
Right.
And so I signed up to do stand up for my birthday at a local comedy club and signed a form online, and they're saying, hey, if it's your first time, you're going to get 3 minutes. And so I thought about things to say for 3 minutes. At that point, didn't even think to write anything down. I thought of like, I could talk for this long for 3 minutes.
Right.
And then when I got there, I learned two things. Number one, I learned that I wasn't going to get 3 minutes. I was actually going to get 5 minutes, which doesn't sound like a big difference. But now where you're the only one on stage with a microphone and you're talking and people are expecting for you to make them laugh, that's a long time to fill. So then I'm thinking like, okay, what can I say with these other 2 minutes? And I also learned that I was being entered into a contest that they were running at the time called the Indiana Mic Off. Wow. And so they had a format where all the comedians would perform, and then they would bring you back on stage and do like Showtime at the Apollo style, where they hold their hand over your head and get crowd response. Right. And whoever got the loudest response won that night. Right. So I'm like, okay, great. If this goes wrong, like really, really wrong, I got to stand in front of these people 2 times now and hear them not laugh the first time and then not laugh or clap the second time. This is going to be horrible, right? But I did it anyway. And to make a long story less long, I actually won the contest that night and ended up going on to the next round. And, that kind of jump-started my my love for performing comedy. I've always loved comedy, but performing comedy, that kind of sparked that new love.
How do you juggle home work in business? I mean,
wow. That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question. And that was one of the reasons why I stopped the radio show. Because of, personal, being home with your family. Yeah. But here now, Charm City Direct TV, I'm home. So I dedicate a allotted time to the TV component, and then I allot time to my family, I try to incorporate my family as much as possible, but we all go back to the I don't want to do it. So it's a balance. It's definitely a balance that you have to set for yourself, and because if you devote all of your time into what you love and neglect what you have, is not going to be good. Right. Not going to be good. So it takes a lot of sacrificing. It takes a lot of sitting down and compromising and knowing what's important.
Right. That conversation.
Yeah.
Conversation.
Definitely.
Yeah. Listen, with that, trying to incorporate the family back into your world. It's one of those things like, how you have your kid and you try to teach them to walk, and then one day they just get up and start walking. You're like, I guess you got it. That's kind of how the whole you're getting your family or your significant other on live stream, because mine was just like, hey, I want to go live with you. What? Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was no deep, like we were discussing it. Hey, you should, and she's like, okay. No, it just was one day I was about to go, hey, I'm gonna go on with you. Okay.
and that's cool how you just explain that, and as easy as that is, but it's like it's like pulling teeth around here.
Like I said, it's just gonna happen. Like either a dose of inspiration or just like, all right, I'm gonna get on. For me, like I said, it was never a conversation. Like there were times I suggested, like, hey, you wanna, maybe, and then one day she just bust out. We was eating dinner or something. She's like, hey, let's go on live together. Right.
Wow, that's awesome right there. I like that. I'm gonna try that.
Has there ever been a time that you felt like you wanted to give up Charm City TV?
Lots of times.
What's up?
In fact, I gave it up. Wow. I gave it up once because of it. I was so afraid of competition. I was afraid of people not watching and tuning in and engaging.
Right.
And then, I just had that, have a talk with myself and I prayed about it. And I said, It's not even about that. You know, it's what you love. It's what you're putting out that make people want to, you know, tune in. So I took a break. I didn't completely shut it down. I took a break. And when I came back, you know, I just did it. I didn't do it for the numbers. I didn't do it for people's approval. I just did it for me. And if anybody wanted to join, be my guest. You see what I'm saying? And now it's a little bit better now than it have been. So yeah, to answer your question, I thought about giving up at least 3 times. Like, I'm selling everything.
Oh wow, go start selling stuff. That's when you're real. Like, start putting on eBay and all of, like, you know. I did. I went on Facebook a couple of times. Like, hey man, I got this monitor over here. You want it? So yeah. I would say at least 3 times. But like I said, I prayed about it hard. And I talked to people who gave me some real good, because when you talk to people like that, you know, they wheels start to turn. I'm like, he's getting rid of it. But I talked to people that I knew that could help me instead of encourage instead of help, because not all help is good help, if you understand. So yeah. They're like, I feel you. You should get out of the game. You should. How much is your laptop?
Yeah. Let me get that CPU off of you.
You still paying for that subscription on StreamYard? Let me buy that off.
Yeah.
We'll get that thing real quick.
Yeah.
Right.
So, exactly. And let me say a word of encouragement for all those who have something inside of because what Periscope does and what all the streamings, what they do is allow you to express something that's inside and see if you can start to hone your ability to communicate that idea. And what's awesome is what Periscope allowed me to do. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I wasn't on Periscope, right? I consider myself, my prophetic birth happened on streaming. People witness, there's people witness a prophet being born, and in a sense, and so that happened because of continuously being on the app and doing what I felt was inside of me to do. And so there is somebody who is going to be watching and who's watching now who's like, you know what? I feel like there's something inside of me that I want to continue to express. How can I interact with people that allows me to get instant and immediate feedback for what it is that I'm saying, what it is that I'm feeling, and all of that, and then that can lead you towards a path if some of the other forms don't speak to you, right? Maybe some of the other ways to interact with people haven't worked out, and so you decide, you know what, let's try this, and you go from there, because I like everybody else, we start with zero, and you have to build. You basically have to build. So,
Well, AD, I know we don't talk about R. Kelly on this show very much, but when you said, "I got something inside of me, I just don't know what it is," so you sound like, you remind me of my Jeep. You was like, "I know I got something inside of me, I just don't know what it is." Girl, please, yeah. So that's.
Let me let somebody know this. Professionalism has nothing to do with your production value. Oh, snap. Professionalism has to do with your willingness to go to that thing, do that thing on a consistent, I want to say daily, but not necessarily daily, but you press on all the time, right? You press on all the time. And it's not about how many likes you have and how where you've been trained and how much you write. Because the release I got, the revelation I got was watching a show that was an interview between Stephen King and R.R. Martin. So he's a great, phenomenal writer.
Right.
But the distinction that was made was that he takes forever to write a book, right? And he doesn't take forever because he's doing a lot of research. He takes forever because he doesn't write all the time. He's quote unquote late, and he's admitted this. This is not even something that you have to dig. He's admitted this, and and in comparison to somebody like Stephen King, he writes all the time.
All the time, right?
He writes all the time. That's why he's got the volumes that he has.
Right.
And so the distinction was, even though one person gets paid a lot, or both of them get paid a lot, and they're Game of Thrones. Thank you. They gets paid a lot and doing great things, and it's on high levels, right? The professionalism is Stephen King, because he is the one that is consistent and doing it on a regular basis.
Wow.
So you are a professional when you show up. You show up consistently.
The most underappreciated species on the planet is the Black woman. The woman, the person that is never protected, almost never, is the Black woman. And how the Elijah Muhammad taught them how when it comes to our women, that we should kill for our women. Tupac, as a devout Muslim himself, said in one of his songs, he said, we gotta kill for our women, be real to our women. You know what I'm saying? And so there is a lot of instances where where our Black woman has not been protected. There are so many stories, if you think about, like, and before we came back from break, we was talking about Centoya Brown. Those of you guys who are listening and remember her, who was kidnapped and was sex trafficked, and she ended up killing her capturer or her abductor, and was given a 51-year sentence, and was recently given clemency by the governor. Where was her defense? Who came to her aid? And it's funny, AD, that if at any instance where a Black man is being brought down or shunned or whatever, there is a Black woman right there to support and fighting for him and all of that. Hold on. All right, so we're talking about Centoya, and so Centoya, and there was no defense, and so the reason why this is coming up, is that everybody's jumping on the Gayle King bandwagon, and I'm like, there's no protection for her, even though Gayle was wrong on a number of levels. That's neither here nor there. You look at what Snoop Dogg did. With Gayle, and he got on there and he called all kind of dog-faced bitches and things of this nature. Where is the protection? I mean, I understand your displeasure. I understand that you're upset. But you can't come any better than that. So as a fellow Black man, what I totally discredit or downplay, not downplay, it's a bad word, but I don't condone Snoop Dogg's comments. That's the word. That's the word I'm looking for. Condone.
Condone. There you go.
I don't condone Snoop Dogg's comments. I think, even though Gayle was wrong, but even though with Gayle, I think she was doing her job. But that's neither here nor there. That's another podcast altogether. So AD, where you at with it? Where you at?
Oh, with it's funny, because this has kind of arisen because of the Gayle King thing. In a sense, it's been a topic we've kind of wanted to do for a while. The thing is, and it's funny that you bring up the Malcolm X comment, because he's also said, he was in an interview, and someone was asking him about another brother, like, hey, what do you think of such and such, or someone else? I don't think they were Muslim. They were kind of like in Martin Luther King's camp or something of that nature. And he said, we should not, I'm not going to talk about my family in front of y'all. He said, I'm not going to talk about another brother in front of the media. I'm not going to expose and do that. If I have an issue, I will go to them. Like he said, the problem, we're all tearing each other down in public. And the thing is, like, I understand you're upset and you're angry, but there are ways. You're Snoop Dogg. I'm sure you have a number that's a number directly to Gayle King, if not have her number.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Have some connection.
Yeah.
You're up there, you're connected. So they, like, you come out and you say, listen, I don't agree with what Gayle King said. That's it. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
But to go off like that is unnecessary, especially for someone at that level.
Yeah.
Like me and you, we are 1,000 people away from connecting with Gayle King.
Right.
So if we were angry, that would be our only way to express it.
Right.
Even though, in a sense, we'll still be wrong, but it's our only way.
Right.
But when you're a star, at that level, you can say I don't agree, and we got you, because things happen, and we're looking for other people's opinion. Like, am I wrong for being mad? And you see other people saying, no, you're not wrong. It was wrong. Whatever. We need to be mindful and start protecting our ladies. Start protecting our women, or being more cautious in dragging them through the mud, and not hanging them out to dry, not letting them, hang there by themselves, because Gayle King is now by herself. Like, of course, Oprah Winfrey is her friend. So let's keep it 100. She's good with work.
Right.
Right. She's good.
Yeah.
But if there was no Oprah Winfrey, she would really be 100% by herself.
Yeah.
Now, granted, what she did help alienate her within her own people, definitely.
Yeah.
Because the other side is not gonna clamor for her or defend her or do anything for her. They just used her to get ratings.
Right.
So
they did that.
Protecting our women, right, and protecting our black women is really important, because they're, if you're not sort of statistic with sex trafficking and many women disappearing and nobody knowing or having any idea or even looking for them, it's become a problem. So we talk about, there are two places. Of course, there's the in your family and in your community. Of course, in your family is pretty much self-explanatory. If it's your wife, lady, girlfriend, whatever, your sister, your mother, that your aunt, your cousin, it's a no-brainer. If you see somebody in getting in their space, you rise up like, yo, what's going on? The I won't say controversy, but some of the issue is protecting your community,
right?
Because that's where my lady's out right now at work. I'm not there, so I know some of the brothers there. If something was to happen, would they step up and protect her?
Right.
Because that's what should be done.
Right.
Or will they let her fend for herself?
Right.
And we've seen that time and time again. Women having to take the hits by themselves, and with brothers just standing around and being witness to it. Like the lady in McDonald's, there were brothers standing there, and nobody stepped up.
Nobody.
He reached over the counter. By the time he began to reach, someone should have been on his back.
Yeah.
Or something, doing something.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we become complacent. We become bystanders.
Yeah.
We're so quick to whip out our phone and record, but not intervene.
Yeah.
It's one thing if I pull my phone out here, you record, I'm about to beat this brother down. Like, you need to witness, have a recording of what's about to go down.
Right.
Or not, because then I might have something like, don't record this part, because but keeping it real, we need to be vigilant. And as I speak to you guys, I speak to myself. Just being aware of what's happening around you.
Yeah.
Being aware of how people speak to your ladies, because some guys just say such unsightly things to women sometimes.
Yeah. Crazy. Out of pocket. Just out of pocket.
Yeah, and just like like an old guy. Like, I was in Quick Trip. Old guy had to be like 60, 55, 60, maybe older. Was talking to a young lady, like in an unseemly way, and I was like, that could be your granddaughter, dude. Like, what? Like, what are you doing? So it's crazy how, and women just feel alone. And a lot of times I understand why black women get such a defense of handling stuff themselves, because they have protection and no one looking out for them. So we just wanted to kind of share that today. And I wanted to shout out Ben McBride. If y'all look him up, I saw him on a BET YouTube special, and he how he defended a woman who got pulled over. We didn't see the whole incident. We just seen him standing up and hollering at the cops like, yo, how did you, disrespectfully handling the pullover and all that good stuff. Like, he just was going off on them in protecting her, telling them, that they were wrong. And that's the way we need to stand up for our women.
Yeah.
And I know putting your life in danger, is not what we should always do, but you stand up. You stand up. And that's what we teach about brotherly legacy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just stand out, you stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we're sitting down on the job when things are happening, things are occurring in front of us. Even if a child is getting unseemly to their mother, granted, you can't grab them because sometimes you just want to
snatch them
put
up.
your hand on them, just want to snatch them up.
Yeah.
But you can't.
Right.
But you just sometimes you got to speak up.
Yeah.
And Terry and me and Terry had a discussion before I started recording where he's like, yo, we need to start recording because we getting into this.
Yeah.
So in some of the videos that I sent him, someone put a comment about stepping up, and he was like, the problem with stepping up to, and he basically said random black women. He was like, you step up and then the woman doesn't want the help or shoots you down because she don't need you.
Right.
He was like, that's why he doesn't step up.
Right.
And Terry, you shared your rebuttal to that.
Yeah, my rebuttal would be simply if she says, I don't need you, I got this handle or whatever, that's fine.
Right.
But don't just stand there, do something.
Right.
If she doesn't want your help, okay, because women also, this is for you too, is to be receptive of help. I get that we're independent. I get that we can do this thing on our own. I get that. You don't need no man. I understand, sister. I understand, sis. But be receptive. And so if we're receptive, then there's nobody's feelings get involved. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the deal. And any man, white, black, green, blue, indifferent, if you put your hands on a woman, you're a punk. If you're just an absolute punk, you need to be drugged. But see, D.L. Hughley said something in the YouTube video you sent me, and he said, because you're not supposed to put your hands on nobody.
Right.
But once you do, all bets are off. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And it's time. I told you I watched the videos. See?
Right. Very good. Very good.
So, but all bets are off, and then it's time to retaliate. Think about this. All of us have mothers. Either she's gone to heaven or she's still here. But we got mothers. I want every man to think just for a second, if that was your mother in that McDonald's getting snatched over the counter.
Right.
If your mother was Centoria Brown.
Right.
If your mother was Sandra Bland. Just think about all of these people.
Right.
All these disparaged sisters who have no protection there. There is not one man in place, but you got people like Snoop Dogg and LA Truth jumping on the bandwagon and bashing this woman. Ain't nobody come to her defense. Now I get it, she wrong.
Right.
She's wrong in two left shoes. We all understand the anger. We get it. But at the same time though, because what happens is that when the black man decides that he wants to bash his sister, guess who follows suit?
Right. Exactly. You're right. The other man. right.
And so what? So what does that mean? So now we going through now they're being disparaged some more.
Right.
Now we can think we can go back even further. We can talk about slavery days when the black woman was carrying the child of the slave master, taking care of his babies, breastfeeding his children.
Right.
No protection. Maybe back then it's a little different because they couldn't really retaliate. But at the same time though, but that's going through. And just like the other one, the overstater on YouTube.
Yes.
I told you I watched the video. But the overstater, she said it. All that stuff starts back from slavery, and it's true.
Right.
And I was just like, we have to learn how to protect our sisters.
Yes.
We all have sisters and aunties and grandmas and mamas, and we got. Come on.
Right.
I mean, like I said, with the situation with Gail, I get it. Everybody's mad with Gail. Okay, Gail. She's the only black woman in history that lose her black card on Black History Month. I got it. But we still have to defend somehow. what Snoop Dogg did, what everybody else did, it was just you can, like you said earlier, you can voice your displeasure without calling her out of her name.
Right. Exactly.
Or without personally attacking her. This woman receiving death threats because of what she said this Kobe interview. I can guarantee you much that it was black people that are threatening to send her death threats. Who does that?
That's that, yeah. Who with death? Like, come on.
Come on. Listen.
Right.
Kobe left a legacy. Is it complicated? Maybe so to some people. Other people not so much. No. But you have the right to have that opinion, and you can't be threatened with death because you don't go with the majority. Right.
You're right. Right.
We gotta protect. We gotta protect because I remember when I was little, and my daddy wasn't always a pastor. The man that raised me wasn't always a pastor. He wasn't always that good guy.
Right.
And I remember when I was about 4 or 5, maybe even 6, I remember him pushing my mama over the bathroom tub. I never will forget it.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there, and I watched him do this from the hallway.
Wow.
And I remember running and jumping on his back.
Wow.
And just, I couldn't do anything with him because he was left-handed and he was a big guy, and then I could do. He was 6 years old.
Right.
But I remember at a young age to protect my mother, and that was always my mentality.
Right.
These men out here that has opened their mouth to badmouth, bash, call chicks bitches, all this other good stuff, bad stuff. I'm sorry, Melissa, get on me about that. Bad stuff, and it's okay with you.
Right.
But let somebody else call your mom a bitch.
Right.
Let somebody else call your sister a bitch, or your auntie, or your come on. We're ready to fight, but you can do it. Y'all need to quit. Really, I need for all the guys to sit down somewhere and just take a seat. It's okay to talk about your anger. It's okay to be mad.
Right.
But watch your mouth.
Right.
To your queens, watch your mouth.
Yes, because know that words stain, words stick. And they never. Someone can forgive, but those words never go away.
Feel me?
Never go away. That's a relationship advice right there.
I'm telling you,
those words never go away.
Ting.
Right. You'll get past it, but trust, they stick. They stay.
You're gonna feel that, man. You're gonna feel that. And then,
we have to be mindful of our words, our actions, how we treat our ladies. And if you have daughters, how you treating your queen matters. It's what they see, and then what they accept. It's what they see, and then it's what they accept. Because now you are setting the standard. Like, okay, this is how I deserve to be treated,
right.
And they're gonna follow that path. And it's crazy how, unbeknownst, no one willingly gets into an abusive relationship, but they just seem to fall into that pattern based on what they grew up seeing.
Right.
So it's that always boggles my mind how that happens.
It boggles mine too, brother. It boggles mine too. Like, if y'all don't quit,
right,
and protect you got some of y'all are girl dads, or some of y'all.
Right.
Let's see. Let me rephrase, because there are some guys that are girl dads, and there are some dads that there are some men that have girls. There's a difference.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, protect your seeds. Protect. They don't have to be your seed.
Right.
If you see someone out in public and they're being disparaged, and they're, because I remember, back when Trump, like we said before we came on air, back when Trump was running for office,
right,
woman was being disparaged in a crowd.
Right.
And every man that was in that crowd, black, white, or indifferent, they had a camera out, but not one person helped them.
Yeah, didn't step in there.
Those cameras,
right?
You trying to go viral.
Right.
This woman getting her head bashed in.
Right.
Come on, man, we got to quit that. That's crazy.
Right.
That's crazy. Right. And I'm like Forrest Gump. That's all I got to say about that.
Boom! I want to thank you for supporting the Brothers Who Talk. So listen, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. 2 things I need you to do. Make sure you comment. Tell us how much you love us.
and like this page. Oh wait, another third, subscribe. Make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube page. Make sure you're subscribing to our podcast, no matter what platform that you're listening to. So the main thing is, I appreciate you even listening and making it this far. Next, what I need you to do is to hit that link right there. Go to the Brothers Who Talk Now, and be a part of our growth. Support our Patreon page, get some behind the scenes of all our shenanigans, and learn some things. We'll show you how we do our podcast and the equipment we use and how we hook things up. All right? So thank you so much for supporting. Have an awesome day. And again, thank you.
Thank you for watching and listening to the Brothers Who Talk. With Terry and AD. Check us out again next week, where we bring you a steaming helping of common sense, laughs, and advice. We can be found on any podcasting platform, iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We're also on milehighradio.com, Saturdays at 12 Eastern. See you there.